There were several questions that dealt with the construction grant, and so I think this is the one that encompasses the idea. Should any or all of the $21 million construction grant be diverted to other than facility-related projects? Do you want me to repeat that? Should any or all of the $21 million construction grant be diverted to other than facility-related projects?
I actually believe there's 3 different ways that we should spend the money from the construction grant. And the first one is improving the parity between schools. And when I say improving the parity between the schools, there's 4 different areas that I believe need to happen. The first being building conditions. The second would be student safety, technology, and then the overall student's experience. And by that I mean, regardless of the grade level or school that a student attends, all of their experiences should be equal. So, for example, a second grader at Lincoln should have the same experience in school as a second grader at Cortland. The second way I believe we should spend the grant would be to reserve a portion of it for deficits we may have in the future until the economy can turn around. So I do believe we should set aside some of that money so we can cover the deficits in the future. And third, I believe that it's very important to the district that we reduce class size. And I know we can't do it all at once, but we do have to start at some point. And I do believe we should reduce the class size in kindergarten through 2nd grade. And I believe that could pay for itself in the long run by having students be able to read by 3rd grade at a higher level, which then could reduce truancy, referrals, and
Do you need the question again?
I believe I have it.
Okay.
And it's my understanding that grant is for construction only. So it's my understanding that grant money has to be spent on facilities or building construction. So in my opinion, my thoughts are that we look to use that money to improve the infrastructure that's already in place. In the early 80s, I attended Little John Elementary School, and it's now 2013, and I think that building is in the same condition it was when I attended it 30 years ago. And so, to what Vicki was saying as well, to improve the parity of the buildings. We know technology is the future. We know our children. My 4-year-old son is probably better on my iPad than I am. And so we have to make sure that we're using that money to enhance education. If that means enhancing the buildings, making sure those buildings are up to code, making sure those buildings have the proper technology in them is the way that I would move with that money. And it's important in the long run as well. If we're going to continue to improve our school district, that means we have to be able to attract the best educators that's out there. And the way that we attract the best educators is providing the best facilities for them to educate. If the facilities aren't good, trust me, the best teachers are not going to come to this school district. Thank you.
Okay. It's a long one. Should any or all of the $21 million construction grant be diverted to other than facility-related projects?
I'm grateful that the current board developed the Finance and Facilities Committee to look at this and study what our district needs. $21 million is a lot of money, and we can certainly make a lot of school improvements. There are schools that definitely have some things over the other schools, whether it's technology, space, equipment, and so forth. And so I know that right now that they're talking to all of the teachers and staff members about what improvements are needed in schools. And I think that that's a great approach, and that we're going to learn a lot about what teachers need so that they can offer each child an equal educational opportunity. So I definitely think that some money should go toward the facility improvements. But we also know that, you know, we're in a really bad position in the state of Illinois as far as funding goes. And we could have a chance for our reserves to dry up pretty quickly. And so I think we need to be wise and look into the future and figure out if we're gonna need any of this money. And then in addition to that, can we use any of the money to pay down bonds so that there's less of a burden on the taxpayers in the future? Because those payments are just gonna go up as the years go on. And so what kind of responsibility do we have to the taxpayers here? So, thank you.
Do you want me to read the question again?
Actually, I wrote it down.
Okay.
So I wouldn't have to make you read it again. So the $21 million grant, as I understand it, those funds are unencumbered, which means that the district can use them for whatever. What I would like to see done with them, the first thing I would like to see is that impact fee credit reduced. The district owes the developer behind high school $1,050,000. The developer owes the district $651,000 for a road, and that leaves about 390 some odd thousand of basically borrowed money. The interest payments on that debt are $42,000 a year. If we can get rid of the debt, we won't have the interest payments. So I would like to see that just kind of eliminated. I would like to see the buildings be structurally equal as much as they can be, given that not all of them were built at exactly the same time. I was just in Cortland's Elementary, and they have a lovely facility, and then I went over to Malta, and the building is significantly older than Cortland's, but there were some noticeable physical deficiencies, I would maybe want to say. And then the last thing that I would like to see done with that money is that I would like to see as much as possible of it saved. We were running a $2.3 million deficit this year. That's projected to go out until 2018. We cannot continue to run that kind of a deficit without some kind of savings to back us up.
Thank you. Would you like me to read it again?
No,
Okay.
I do agree with all other candidates in regards to what has been said. And it's my understanding that the money was earmarked. But if in fact the money is not earmarked for particular constructions, then I do feel that there should be an analysis of all the school buildings to see which school buildings have priority, which buildings are in the worst shape, and they should be put on the list. And then the monies that we owe $1 million and something for the land, and we also, I understand that we have credit that's been extended to us, and I feel that if any way possible, those debts can be paid off, then we certainly should do it. Because I've been a single parent for over 25 years, and whenever I get my tax refund, if my mortgage is behind or my car note needs to be paid, I don't go out shopping. I pay the bills. So I feel it's very important that if possible, the money can be rediverted in another way. We should first pay the bills, and then we should fix as many school buildings as possible. That's what I feel that we should do with the money. Any parent in this room, if you had $20 million, you would not die, and leave your children penniless. You would always have something for your children. So we should not allow the debt to carry on to the next generation. Thank you.
And